We have a message today that we're going to be talking about the multitudes. When Jesus fed the multitudes, he fed 5,000, and then he fed 4,000. And so because of that, because if the Lord help us, we wish to establish a context. We may only get to the 5,000 today. We'll get to the 4,000 next time, Lord willing. But it's so important we have a context for the Word of God. But I do think we'll read the story, for those who may not be familiar, amen, with the story of Jesus. So we're going to Matthew 14, and I'm going to go backwards and talk about what happens before the story, because that's the context in which the story happens. And how many of us, Jesus never makes a mistake, amen? He does everything in order. He instructed the church to do everything in decency and in order. And the reason why he can instruct us to do that is because he did everything in decency and in order. Amen. So everything we read with the Bible and every story that we read in the Bible, we have to understand the reason why Jesus followed the pattern that he followed. Amen. He did certain things at a certain time, and he followed that up by other things at another time, because they all fit together when we look at the life of Jesus Christ. So we're going to begin reading in Matthew 14. And then in Matthew 14, I'm going to intersperse some things from the other Gospels, but it's all the same story. It's the feeding of the multitude, where there were 5,000 men present, in addition to women and children. But as you all know, first of all, the feeding of the 5,000 is the only miracle of Jesus Christ that is recorded in all four Gospels. So it's recorded in all four Gospels. The feeding of Jesus Christ is recorded in all four. The feeding of the 4,000 is recorded only by Matthew and Mark. But the feeding of 5,000 is recorded in all four Gospels. And so in order to get the full story, Matthew 14, in order to get the full story, sometimes what you have to do is you have to read all four Gospels. And for the most part, they parallel. But every once in a while, Mark will include something that John does not refer to. Luke will include something that Mark does not refer to. So in order to get the whole story, you have to read all Gospels. And then sometimes you have to intersperse them together. Some of you might have what's called a chronological Bible. And what a chronological Bible does is it takes the gospel and it goes by chronology. So then you can see the pattern of the scriptures where the gospel writers intersperse something that the other gospel writers did not. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. But it need not confuse you. Just stay in Matthew 14. I'm going to read a couple scriptures from the other gospels, because those are points that Matthew did not make, but Matthew probably has the most complete story here, but the other Gospels include something as well that I think are beneficial for us as we try to edify the key points of the story. Matthew 14, verse 13 reads, when Jesus heard of it, he departed thence by ship into a desert place apart. So I'm going to try to highlight the key points. So first of all, he goes to a desert place, right? So you have to think about the fact that he goes to a place where there's probably not much life and there's not much happening. If you think about the desert, there are very few people who live in the desert. Amen. People who live in the desert live there because they like living in deserts, but that's not too many people. So he goes to a desert place, and when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. So the people come out of their city and they go to the desert. So they go to a place where it is hugely inhabited. They go from a place where you might say they were comfortable into a place where they're not going to be comfortable, the desert. Amen. So they go but they wanted to hear the word so bad that they were willing to leave their cities to come to the desert. Wherever Jesus taught, he had folks who wanted to come where he was to hear what he was saying. Amen. They believed that if they followed him, they were going to hear something that was going to help their lives and change their lives and have a positive impact on their lives. So they leave their cities to come to the desert where they know for the most part, that's all that's going to be there is Jesus and the desert. Amen. Amen. A lot of folks don't go places just to hear God's word. Amen. Amen. We pick and choose where we go. All right. A lot of times we put more emphasis on the place than we do the word. But these people put more emphasis on the word than they did the place. Amen. They put more emphasis on the place. They put more emphasis on the word than they did the place. And so the Bible says they went to a desert place out of their cities. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude. And when he saw them, he was moved with compassion toward them. So when Jesus saw people, these are not necessarily people who were saved. These were not yet his disciples. But he still yet had compassion on them. And when Jesus had compassion on them, he did something for them. Amen. So again, Jesus usually does not have compassion without acting. So here he has compassion, and his compassion moves him to heal some of those who were in the crowd, to heal some of those who were in the multitude. And we'll see that even more so when we look at the story of the 4,000. And it was evening, and his disciples came to him saying, this is a desert place. So Jesus had taught for a while. We don't know in particular how long, but they had sat there and heard the word of God. Amen. When you really, really want a word of God, you're not paying attention to a lot of other stuff. Right? So they were focused on the word of God. Amen. So the disciples came. Now, the people didn't come. The disciples came. And they said, the time is now past. Right? It's getting late, Jesus. We're getting tired. Right? That's what they really are saying. They're really representing themselves. Hey, the time has passed, Lord. This teaching is good, but we got to do something else. Right? They might have been hungry. They might have been restless or whatever. And send the multitude away, that they may go into the villages and buy themselves victuals. So what they're basically saying is that they've been hearing you so long, they got to be hungry, because the disciples, after all, were human. You know what I'm saying? So they understood the human experience. And by the time they knew that Jesus is both human and divine, so they know that Jesus can fast 40 days. So folks who can fast 40 days, they don't get hungry like everybody else get hungry. So they thought they remind Jesus, now you're not dealing with just those ordinary people, you're dealing with ordinary folks. These folks need to eat. They love your teaching, but they need to eat. And they were standing in the gap, if you will. They were interceding for the people, saying, Lord, send them back so they can go and eat. And when Jesus, in 1 John, now I'm going to read from chapter 6 from the book of John. The same story, but John adds this. When Jesus looked up his eyes and he saw a great company come unto him, he saith unto Philip, whence shall we buy bread that these may eat? So he asked Philip, okay, Philip, y'all saying they're hungry, where are we going to get the bread from? Now, Jesus already knew that he was going to take care of them, but he wanted to know whether or not they believed that he could take care of them. So he said, Philip, where are you going to buy the food? Where are you going to get it from? And Philip answered him, saying, 200 penny worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. So he said, listen, what we got, Lord, that's not going to help. we can't help these folks. We want them to eat, but you ever want, somebody need to be hungry, but you might not be the one who can feed them. That's what Philip was saying. Right? But we don't have enough to feed these people, but we believe that they are hungry and they need to eat. Now, one of the disciples, Andrew, remember that name, Andrew. One of the disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, there is a lad here. So it's Andrew who recognizes the lad. Right? The lad has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? So Andrew does recognize that there is a resource to work from. Sometimes when you don't have everything, you got to recognize there's a resource to work from. So Andrew recognizes there's a resource here to work from. There's a resource we have to work from. It's not sufficient, but we can work with something. We got something here. But he says this is not really sufficient for all these people who need to be fed. But there is a resource here. There's something to work from. Sometimes you got to give the Lord something to work from. And then Matthew 14 and 16 says, but Jesus said unto them, they need not depart. Give ye them to eat. And the disciples asked in Mark 6 at this time, in Mark 6 chapter, they asked this question, shall we go and buy 200 penny worth of bread and give them to eat? So they still haven't got the revelation that the Lord perform a miracle. So Jesus is working from his spirit, while the disciples are working from their flesh. Right? Jesus is working in the spirit. The disciples are working from the flesh. So when one person works from the spirit and the other person works from the flesh, they're not going to see the same thing. Everybody heard what I'm saying? If you're moving in the spirit, the person you're with is moving in the flesh, there's no way you all are going to see the same thing. Let me say it again, just so we understand. If you are in the spirit, the persons you are with are in the flesh, y'all not going to see the same thing. The same thing will be there, but you won't see the same thing. See, the same number of loaves and the same number of bread was there. Jesus had to look at the same loaves, but because Jesus was in the spirit and they were in the flesh, they couldn't see the potential of the loaves. Help me, Holy Ghost. They couldn't see the potential of the resources that the Lord had present. And then Mark 14, verse 17. Mark 14, verse 17. And they say unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Again, their carnal minds, their carnal eyes, their carnal flesh said, this is all we have. Is anybody here? Don't raise your hand. Anybody ever told the Lord, this is all I have? Don't raise your hand. Right. They were basically telling the Lord, this is all we have, Jesus. They forgot who he was. Whenever you tell the Lord, this is all I have, you forgot who you're dealing with. And he said, bring them hither to me. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, and looking up to where? He looked up to where? Did he look at the disciples? Did he look up to his friends? Did he look at a text? Did he look at his cell phone? Did he look through the internet? He looked up to where? Right. David said, I will look unto from whence cometh mine. You got to know where your help comes from. And Jesus knows, if we're going to do this, I got to have heaven involved. So he looks up to heaven, and he blessed and broke, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. And they did all eat and were filled. And they took up the fragments that remained, 12 baskets. So they had 12 baskets from what? How much did they have? Y'all remember the story? I'm hearing a lot. 5 barley loaves and what? That's right, verse 9, right? John 6 and 9. That's what they had, and they ended up with more than what? They ended more than what they what? They ended with more than they what? Started with. Who else ended up with more than they started with? Job. When you deal with God, you can always end up with more than you start with. That's not my message. And the Bible says in John 6 and 12, when they were filled, he said unto his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. So not only did he say, I'm going to bless everybody here, but he said, then I'm going to give you enough for overflow. You take the overflow back to your cities, and you give it to somebody else. When you get an overflow, the overflow is not designed for you. See, the overflow is not designed for the multitude. And he fed the multitude. He said, but now I'm going to give you the overflow. You take that back to somebody else who you see hungry. You take that back to somebody else who needs something. The overflow is never designed for the person God gives it to. That's why I call it overflow. And in Matthew 14 and 21, and they were eating with about 5,000 men, besides women and children. And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. So Jesus, at the end of the story, he deals with the multitudes, right? Because the disciples never got on to what he was doing. So he had to make sure that when Jesus takes care of you spiritually, he wants to make sure you leave how he took care of you. You somebody hear what I'm saying? See, once you get spiritual, the Lord don't want you to then get carnal. So he can't bring carnal around you. That which is carnal cannot feed that which is spiritual. And so the Lord said, I can't now bring the disciples back and have them intersect with these people. I'm giving these people a miracle. I'm not going to have the carnal disciples come back and deal with it. I'm going to deal with them myself. Sometimes the Lord wants to deal with you himself. Because he got you to a place now where he can deal with you himself. Before he needed he dealt with you through a person, now he wants to deal with you himself. So I want to use for a topic today, maybe segment one, not just one sermon here. And this is very, very much in accordance with the radio broadcast from our Mother Lunkin and all the comments that were made in Sunday school. I want to use for a sermon topic, we have problems, Jesus has answers. We have problems, Jesus has answers. And a case study of the feeding of the multitudes. We have problems, but Jesus has answers. So sometimes I'm still trying to convince people, sometimes other people cannot help you solve your problems. Amen. It's not that they don't want to help you, right? But there's two aspects of helping people. First of all, you have to be willing to help them. There are some people, they're not even willing to help you. Look how quiet the church got. There are some people, they're not even willing to help you. Mercy me, I think that's the quietest I ever got, y'all. Right? There are some people who are not even willing to help you. Then there are some people who are willing to help you, but they're not able to help you. Right? They're willing to help you, but they're not able to help you. Can you give me $10? I don't have $10. If I had it, how many times did I have heard one that says that to you? If I had $10, I'll give it to you, but I don't have $10. Right? You're willing to, but you're not able to. Right? Jesus is both willing to help you and able to help you. That's why when we have problems, we ought to go to Jesus before we go to people. I'm not saying that Jesus won't lead you to people, but when he leads you to people, he'll lead you to the right people. Whoa. Right, you want to end up in the hands of somebody who's going to lead you astray, and then you got to get out of that problem. Sometimes we're going to be helping people, and we end up in multiple problems. So we went to the wrong place for help. But if you go to Jesus first, even if he decides to delay his help, he's still going to make some grace and mercy in that situation. So you know that if he doesn't come now, he's coming after a while. But there's a context here. And I don't have time, really, even though they expedited praise and worship today. Thank you, Jesus. Right before this, and I don't have time, but I'll give you the scripture for you right now. Matthew 14, 1 through 12, and Luke 9, 7 through 9. So right before this happens, John the Baptist is killed. John the Baptist is beheaded by King Herod right before this story. Now, why is that so important? It's so important because Jesus Christ loved John the Baptist. The disciples loved John the Baptist. As a matter of fact, two of Jesus' disciples were John the Baptist's disciples. The Bible tells us in the book of John that Andrew was one of John the Baptist's disciples before he became the disciple of Jesus Christ. Andrew, remember I mentioned his name earlier. Right? Andrew was one of John the Baptist's disciples. He left John the Baptist and he became one of Jesus' disciples. Now, so it's a situation where they could have been set back. Help me, Holy Ghost. John the Baptist is beheaded for preaching baptism of repentance. He's beheaded for telling them that there comes one after me whose shoes I am not able to lace. He's beheaded because he tells King Herod that you should not be with the woman who you're with. Because he was with his brother's wife. But John the Baptist told him that's not right. And they put him in prison. And then the woman who he had preached to and told, she put her daughter before him. And she danced before him. Y'all might know the story. Herodias dances before Herod. And a woman dancing will get a man if he's not saved. Let me say that again. Any woman dancing will get a man if he's not a saved man. Because a saved man will get out of there somehow. You got to get out of there somehow. Joseph says, you might be dancing, but I got to get out of here. Because I got to do a work for the Lord. Y'all know what I'm saying? But Herod stood there and watched her. And in his watching, in his lust, the Bible says the pride of life, the lust of the flesh. That's what gets us. And the lust of the what? The lust of the eye. So all three of these things work here. First of all, he lusts after her with his eyes and his flesh. Right? And so because he is Herod, and he can make things happen as he wishes, his pride then says, because you look so good dancing, what can I do for you? Right? His flesh was so weak, he lost his mind. You know what I'm saying? That's right, man, y'all can laugh. He lost his mind. So he leans over and asks her, you dancing so good. Some of y'all been in clubs where somebody was dancing so good, you lost your mind. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? He lost his mind. So he looked at her and said, you're dancing so good, and you look so good. What can I do for you? And she didn't answer. She went and talked to her mother. And her mother told her, bring me John the Baptist's head on a charger. And he said, I should never have told that woman that I'll do whatever you wish me to do. But that's what happens. Lust is so strong that it'll make you lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? Lust is so strong that it'll make you lose your mind. Things that you would not do, you end up doing. Paul said, that I would not do, I find myself doing. That I would do, I find myself not doing. But it's not me, but it's the flesh. Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me? God will deliver you, will. Let him deliver you. And so right before they get this story, right before they get to the desert, right before Jesus has to feed this multitude, he has this sad story come over them. Now, I want you to point out, Andrew is most close to John the Baptist because he's one of his disciples. So Jesus says, I've got to help Andrew. Oh, glory. Jesus knows who to help, when to help. Right? And so he says, not only do I have to help Philip, and Philip might have been, the Bible does not say who the other disciple was, and I don't preach anything the Bible don't say. So I can only know that Andrew, but the Bible told me Andrew was one of John the Baptist's disciples. So Jesus says, when I'm feeding this multitude, I also need to edify Andrew. Help me, Holy Ghost. Don't you know that when you're going through certain things, the Lord will edify you in the crowd? Glory. He will know that you need this in the crowd. There's 1,000 people here, but I need to bless you tonight. Lord, there's a lot of people in the crowd, but I need to touch you tonight. The Lord knows exactly what you need when you need it, and he can find you even if there's 1 million people in the room, the Lord can find you. Doesn't matter how many people are at church. Doesn't matter how many people are sitting on your pew. God can find you. Doesn't matter how many people are in your family. God can find you. Doesn't matter how many people live in your city. God can come and find you. Doesn't matter how many people live in your neighborhood. God can come and find you. That's what makes him such a great God. He's a big God, but he deals with little folks. So remember, I told you, Andrew is the person that Jesus allows to find the resource. Right? Andrew in the story finds the resource. Now, he didn't understand glory. He didn't have the whole revelation, but he finds the resource. Sometimes God lets you find the resource so that you can be edified. Glory. See, God makes you part of the story. See, Philip and Andrew, they become part of the story. Sometimes the Lord wants to make you part of the story because he's trying to bless you. He's trying to take you to a higher place. He's trying to move you from what just happened a week ago. You know what I'm saying? Some people, sometimes we need to be moved for what happened yesterday. Sometimes you need to be moved for what happened last week. So God will bring situations in your life to change your perspective, to change your analysis. Because see, when you look at things from last week, you might be misconstruing what God is saying to you. So sometimes God has to bring you into your present so he can deal with you in the present. You know what I'm saying? See, God can't deal with you in your present when you're looking back at your past. He can't deal with you about your future if you're way back here in your past. So sometimes he has to bring you to your present. So he says, Andrew, I need to bring you to this situation. I know John the Baptist was beheaded. I know we want want to cry. I know our hearts are broken, but I need to perform a miracle, and I need some faith with me. Y'all come on and say hallelujah. Listen, you got to have some faith with you. If you're going to do great things for God, you got to surround yourself and create a situation where miracles can happen. Miracles just can't happen anywhere. Let me show out just a moment. Listen, miracles just can't happen anywhere. You got to create the environment for miracles. Both the internal and the external environment have to be conducive for a miracle to happen. Well, someone said, well, how do you fix up the internal? The Bible says that before this, Jesus had sent the disciples off to a mission so he could be by himself. Sometimes in order for you to get the inner man ready for your miracle, you got to get by yourself. You got to concentrate yourself. You got to dedicate yourself. You got to say, Lord, I'm here. And the prophet says, Lord, I'm looking for a miracle. I'm looking for something to happen. I'm looking for something to change. And I want to spend some me time with you, God. I want to spend some time with you, God. I want to wrestle with you a little bit. I want to talk to you a little bit. I want to listen to you a little bit. I want to concentrate. But sometimes you can't concentrate when a bunch of folks are around. Sometimes you got to put your phone away and say, Lord, let me concentrate. Those who wrong me, and if they need me, let me pray for them. Don't you know God can do that? Those who trying to call you, God will let you pray for them. The same time they're trying to call you and ask you to pray for them, you already praying for them. Because God has the Holy Ghost. And the Holy Ghost will lead and guide you into all truth. And so it says, now listen, I've got to get Andrew ready. I thought it was one other disciple, but I don't know who that disciple was. But he had to get Andrew ready for the situation and the circumstance. So he said, Andrew, you found the resource. Now, he didn't find everything. He didn't find everything Jesus would need, but he found the resource. Sometimes God just gives you to the resource. He said, I'm going to give you this. That's your resource. Now, I'm going to be the one who blesses it. I'm going to be the one who extends it. I'm going to be the one who expands it, but I'm just giving you the resource. So it's an answer, there's a lad over there. That's my resource. Now you got to wait for me to perform a miracle, but I just gave you the resource. All you need to do is hold on to the resource. I'm going to perform the miracle. All you need to do is hold on to the resource. I'm going to take you to a higher plane. All you need to do is hold on to the resource. I'm going to do the work. The Lord said the battle is not yours. It is the Lord. I know some folks need to be fed. You don't need to go to the store and feed them. I'm going to feed them. You don't need to go to the bank every time. Let me bless you. You don't have to go begging all the time. Let me take care of you. You don't have to call folks every time you have a situation. Let me provide. Abraham said, Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. So we need to get them out of that negativity. Because God can't take you to a higher place when you're in a bunch of negativity. Somebody said, well, John the Baptist was beheaded. See, this is what people will tell you. You deserve to cry a little bit. But Jesus has a different mindset. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. And some folks, that's why so many people are down and out. Because there are people who are pity-patting them and telling them, you all feel like that. But Jesus didn't tell them to feel like that. Jesus said, there's somebody who needs to be fed. I know John the Baptist is dead. I'm crying on the inside, but I got miracles to perform on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Jesus, I know my heart is broken, but somebody somewhere else is sick and needs to be healed. Somebody else needs to be delivered. I can't sit down and feel sorry for myself because somebody needs to bless me. So he didn't allow the environment. You can't allow your environment to keep you from your miracle. You can't allow your environment to keep you from your miracle. You can't allow other people. Listen, we're all different. And I figure that I'm different than everybody. I hope you are too. I'm different than everybody. So when people tell me you ought to be a certain way, I don't listen to them. I'm the way God made me. And I need that fire. I need that energy. I need that strength. Because the things God has for me to do are not the same thing God has for you to do. See, God put in you. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. Joel Osteen. I don't listen to Osteen a lot, but I got serious feelings. That was I flip over to him. Thank God for Osteen. And he told us that I give people credit. Osteen said he made the story up and got from somewhere. But what has happened was, I'll do something to you here in a minute, all right? I can get you. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, glory. Osteen said that there was a picture in the Bible. Just hold on to that book. And he said, I want you to open it yet. And he said, listen, he said, the man, Jesus told the woman, give me $100. And you said, I don't have $100.
I don't have $100.
He said, give me the $100.
I don't have $100.
He said, open the book. He said, anything I ask you for, I'm going to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Lord, the $100 was in the book. There's nothing the Lord not going to ask you for. And he already been put in you. There's no healing that God didn't already ask for. There's no power. There's no anointing. There's no situation that God has not already put in you that you can't handle. He put the $100 in the lady's book. She just didn't know it was there. She was walking by sight. The Lord said, no. If I asked you to do it, I already put it in you what to do. I already gave you the strength. I already gave you the know-how. I already gave you the ability to navigate the situation. I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I didn't already equip you for. Thank you, Joel Osteen. He said, listen, I'm not going to put you in a situation where I ask you to do something where I don't put it in you already. Because Andrew, there's a reason why I had you to see that flag. Because you were close to John the Baptist. And I knew that your heart was broken. But I need you to come out of that because I need you to go to this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I need you to come out of that and go to this. But it's got to bring you out of those emotions. We are emotional beings. Human beings are emotional by definition. Human beings, but I put it for a moment, you just get my towel out of the bag. It's in the bag here in the office. Something Holy Ghost. Well, sometimes what happens is you can keep that on the table. Glory. What happens is we get in situations where we feel like, okay, I'm just got a resource, but the resource is all you need. God didn't say you have to perform the miracle. God didn't say you have to do the work. Thank you. God, all he said was, listen, I just need you to be able to see the resource. Because when you see the resource, you bring it to me. And so he said, do what? He said, bring it to me. He didn't even say you have to hold on to it. But there's some stuff you hold on to. The Lord told you, bring me that stuff. Glory. Stuff you crying over. The Lord already told you, bring me that stuff. Stuff you complain about. The Lord said, bring it to me. Stuff you on the phone talking about. The Lord said, bring that stuff to me. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to change it. I'm going to work it out. But before I can do anything, you got to bring it to me. So they bring him the loaves, and they bring him the fish. He looks out over the crowd, and he said, I need y'all to break up in groups. Help me, Holy Ghost. I need you to break up into groups. There's a purpose for that as well. He doesn't serve them as a multitude. He serves them in groups within the multitude. Sometimes you gotta realize how God wants to serve you. He don't want to serve you with everybody else. Glory. Sometimes God wants to get you in a small group of folks. Sometimes He don't have to serve you with the whole church. The Lord's not going to invite you to dinner all by yourself. And when we get to the restaurant, we go into the private room. Because glory. We're not going to Golden Corral this Sunday. We're not going to make this a Golden Corral Sunday. We're not going to make this a friendly Sunday. But I'm going to take you to the best restaurant. And I'm going to take you to a private room. And I'm going to bless you real good. Because I've seen your faithfulness. I've seen your tears. I've seen you cry out. I've seen you go through. I've seen you struggle. I've seen you hold on. So I'm going to bless you real good all by yourself. So he got them in small groups. Now, the other reason he got them in small groups is because he didn't want one person's negativity to rub off on everybody. Oh, Lord. See, sometimes the Lord puts you in a certain mindset, but then you hang around all day with the wrong people. Whoa. Somebody woke up right, but they hung around with the old people all day, so they couldn't go to bed right. So they woke up all right. They woke up on fire, but then they spent the whole day around negativity and complaining and whining. So by the time they got to bed, they couldn't have any victory. But you don't want to wake up right and go to bed wrong. You want to wake up right and go to bed right and live right and talk right and walk right and have a testimony all day. Sometimes the Lord doesn't get us away from our friends. Because we develop certain patterns with our friends. Right? We develop certain patterns with our friends that are not spiritually healthy. I'm talking about saved folks. They're not spiritually edifying. They don't strengthen us. And our friends, unfortunately, become a comfort zone for carnality rather than spirituality. Because your friendship group can become a bastion of carnality. Because you say, everybody, people say this all the time, everybody needs to let their hair down. Y'all heard people say that. And then what they mean by hair down, they want to be as calm as they can be and still make it to heaven. There's a lot of friendship groups in the church that are based around carnality. They hang together because they know each other's sin, but they promise what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But the problem is God is in the friendship group. God is there as well. And sometimes he chooses one person among the friends and says, I don't want you in that group anymore. God sometimes takes one person out of the friendship group and says, I really want to do something with you. Now, it's not any offense to your other friends, but your other friends haven't had their minds made up. Because God can see the heart, glory, before he sees the move. I'll say again, God can see your heart before he sees your move. And so he can see that if I can just get a hold of this one, they're going to do the right thing. But I can't get them to do the right thing until I pull them out from among them. Come out from among them. Be you separated. And he's talking about separated from the saints. You got to separate yourself from the saints. You're going to be anointed and used. If you're going to be anointed and used, you got to be separated from the saints. There's a lot of saints that are going to make it in heaven. That's all they're going to do is make it into heaven. So he said, I got to separate y'all. He said, I'm going to feed everybody, but I got to divide you up. Some groups are going to be different than other groups. Some groups are going to be hard to feed because they're going to be complaining the whole time. See what I'm saying? So he said, now that I got y'all all where I need you, now I can feed you. So he said, Andrew, bring me those resources that I already gave you. Remember, the resource right there in the last hand, the lad gave it to Andrew, and Andrew brought it to Jesus. Now, why is that so important? Because sometimes you got to bring the resources to Jesus even though they're in somebody else's hands. So, they might be in somebody else's hands, but you got to bring the resources to Jesus. That's why the Lord said, I have laid up the wealth. I have laid up the monies. I have laid up all the finances of the riches for those who are my children to have an inheritance. That's why the Lord gave you favor among those people. It wasn't for you to go and house with them. It wasn't for you to go and have papers with them. It was go for you to get their resources, bring them back to the folks in the house, bring them back to the house, so his house could be blessed. Lay up the riches of the wicked for his children. So then he feeds the 5,000. He feeds the 5,000. And after he feeds them, they have more left than they do when he started. Right. Today, the Lord, somebody in here, the Lord want to give you more now than what you started with. Somebody today, the Lord is trying to give you more than what you started with. But the other he can give you more than what you started with, you got to leave where you started from. I'm talking about mindset. If you have the same mindset as when you started, you're going to keep the same stuff you got. But if you allow the Lord to transform you while you're on your path, he can leave you more than what you had when you started, but you don't have the same mindset. Now, why is that good? The reason why your mindset has to be changed, so your stewardship can change. You have to change your mindset, you can change your stewardship. Some of us grew up blowing money. That's right. And some of us grew up spending money and we don't even know where it went. Some of us live like the prodigal son lived. The Bible said he engaged in riotous living, wasteful living. Right? And so when he kept looking back, he couldn't see anything he had done. Right? Remember he had that picture? He had nothing to account for all those years. He could look back and see nothing. See, that's a lack of stewardship. So the Lord said, on your way to your father's house, I've got to transform you. Because when you get back to your father's house, you're going to have everything you had before, but now you're going to have a different mindset. Some of y'all are back, you go ahead and head back to the father's house, he got to give you a new mindset before you get to the house. Because if you head back to your place of blessing, but you got to go this time with a new mindset. So you can really recognize Jesus is giving stuff for me. He wants me to share. He wants me to be a blessing. He wants me to be a help. He wants me to learn self-discipline. He wants me to learn self-control. Just to change your mindset before he gets you back to the house. So he changed our mindset on the way to the house. On the way to the house, he works on our mindset, and he won't open the door until my mindset is changed, because I'll be back out there again. So if he doesn't change our mindset, we'll keep ending back up where we started. The mindset has to change. All right. I'm going to quickly do 4,000 because we're out of time. We're not out of time. So I said, what time? Yeah, well, I'm just saying, what time is time? I'm out of what these disciples said, they're hungry. Some of y'all are hungry. That's what touch your stuff and say, Lord, fill my cup. And let it overflow. All right, last point here. He's the 4,000. Very similar story. The story before this story is very interesting. The story before he feeds the 4,000 is the woman of Canaan who has brought her daughter to Jesus because the daughter vexed. And she comes to Jesus and says, will you heal my daughter? The problem is she's not Jewish. Remember, you're not Jewish, they don't deal with you much. And because Jesus was around Jews, they wanted to dictate who Jesus dealt with. Let me say that again. Get somebody to understand. See, when you're around people, they want to dictate who you deal with. So they want to tell Jesus that we only deal with them, you ought to only deal with them. Jesus said, I'm bigger than you are. Sometimes you got to tell folks, I'm bigger than you are. Why you go preach there? Because I'm bigger than you are. Why you teach over there? I'm bigger than you are. So Jesus is telling folks, I know you limited yourself to the Jews, but I'll talk to a Samaritan. I'll talk to somebody over from the Decapolis. I'll go over to the Hittites, and I'll go see the Hivites. See, there's got to be somebody in the house who will go outside of the house and talk to everybody who everybody else won't talk to, even if they want to talk about you. Some people in the house who are willing to be talked about, because the Lord is sending you to go talk to folks who other folks in the house won't talk about. See, that's another thing that happens in those friendship groups. Right? We all heard the term cliques. Right? Cliques exist there. Cliques don't stop in high school. Those of y'all who still in high school, cliques don't stop in high school. You go to any workplace in America, they have cliques. Right? And there's a different term on it because we're supposed to be these mature people. We're no more mature than y'all in middle school. You go to workplace, the folks in the workplace ain't more mature than folks who are in middle school. I guarantee if you write a book, you write the same book and describe both of them. Thank God for quiet church. So sometimes what you have is you get a certain group of friends, they'll tell you, well, if you're going to be my friend, you can't hang around with Brother Diamond. If you're going to be my friend, you can't hang around with Brother Joe. And you know what I tell